Mate, repeat that word.
Sanukitoid.
Sanukitoid. Please explain what the bloody hell that is.
GSWA is doing a lot of good work around the sanukitoids being probably the thing that bring in gold into the goldfields in general. I think as that story grows, you'll probably hear the word more and more and more. But we're definitely flogging it a lot at the moment. So
this is general advice and my opinions only. This episode's company has paid me for this interview. I may be long, short, or hold an interest in stocks or CFDs mentioned. Past performance isn't reliable. The interviewee's views are their own, not necessarily mine. LEVRD operates as a corporate authorised representative 00131 8377 under AFSL 548573. You can find our financial services guide via the LEVRD website link in the show notes.
Bag holders and stop loss owners. We're heading to Mt Monger and we're heading to Leonora. We've got Evergold Minerals, EG1, previous Evergreen Lithium, another lithium to gold. Maybe you might go back to lithium, Tim, with the bloody prices going the way. Tim Fraser, General Manager. How are you, Cobber? Welcome to LEVRD.
Yeah, good, matey. Thanks for having me, mate.
I just see two packages here that need water bore drilling. Now, can you take us into your water bore status there, mate?
Yeah, I've just been on site at Leonora this week, actually, looking down some bores and checking the water level. So,
mate, why are you doing that when Gerard James can do it for you from WA Water Bores? Why you've got way better things to do with your time.
That is true. I didn't know about it. Where were you 2 days ago?
Oh, mate, we will have a yarn about this. There might be free interviews coming your way if you engage him. It's disclosed. It's legal. Too easy, mate. Mate, the pivot. When did all the pivot happen? Evergreen Lithium. I see. Interesting, because you've got the Bino project in Northern Territory, which is the exact same name as what the Chargers just sold to Core. Is exact same spot, same name. What's the go there?
No, being blunt, the lithium downturn and the gold boom made it a pretty obvious transition for us, but there was probably a bit more to it than that. Director Glenn Grayson joined the board late last year. He's got a pretty strong technical gold background, which made the pivot a lot more viable. And then Bino had some good gold assays return, so the whole company shifted to gold, and then acquiring Leonora and Mt Monger just made the transition sort of complete. Bino's still got a lot of potential for gold exploration, and we'd love to get back up there, but Mt Monger has just been screaming at us to keep doing more and more work, and the priorities for Bino have sort of got pushed down the line. And
right, let's go through the portfolio. We'll go to the metrics for the punters. We're heading 10 mil market cap, trading at 2.3, EG1. There it is on screen for those folk. It's speculative exploration, but the tenure is interesting. So you can go through it more in detail, but here's the Mt Monger project you picked up, which is pretty much right next to the Randalls mill, which is Vault, which was Silver Lake, which is soon to be Regis. And then you've also got your Leonora tenure, which is all around sort of King of the Hills, in between King of the Hills and Gwalia. So, mate, take us through it. It looks ripe for a Vault takeover where you've got everything located. But how'd all this stuff come into the portfolio over time?
Yeah, so the Leonora stuff, that's sort of Glenn's reward for effort there. So, his history was exploration manager with Kin, that's now Patronus. So he'd built a lot of relationships with some of the prospectors around that area and knew sort of which assets were a bit unloved and which could be acquired when he came into Evergold. So Craig's Rest is sort of the flagship there, 63,000 ounce ore body. We're going to try and push and get mining proposals over the line there and get into production sometime next year. Mt Monger acquisition we acquired it from Metallium. We did some due diligence last year, and the shallow resources potential there, made the acquisition viable. And then the more work we did on it, the more potential that sort of shone through. It's been quite a ugly duckling asset in the middle of quite a prestigious area there. So it's really positive the work we're doing and the results we're getting, and sort of the new sanukitoid model that LEVRD have had success with, and Daisy Milano has been sort of reevaluated as, is giving us a bit of potential for something really big lying underneath there.
So that, mate, repeat that word. Sanukitoid.
I've had to learn it.
Sanukitoid. Please explain what the bloody hell that is. And I assume it's something to do with geochem or something. Take it away.
So it's, to put it really simple, the sanukitoid is sort of this mantle-derived plume of really hot rock. It's a bit like a granite. It's a bit like a porphyry. It's got all of the gold suspended in it. When it cools, it sort of precipitates that hydrothermal fluid out of it. And if you've got structures that can act as sort of plumbing and bring that fluid to surface, and then you've got the right rocks in the area that can sort of chemically and physically precipitate that gold out into a concentrate. If you had all three of those, you seem to get an economic deposit. And GSWA is doing a lot of good work around the sanukitoids being probably the thing that bring in gold into the goldfields in general. I think as that story grows, you'll probably hear the word more and more and more, but we're definitely flogging it a lot at the moment. So, with new technologies sort of helped it along a lot. So you can sort of see these sanukitoids at depth with 3D gravity, and we've been able to pinpoint quite a few. So we'll look forward to testing those in the coming weeks with the air cool.
So you have to find them via gravity, or you find them via drilling? How's that work?
Geochemistry. So the sort of pathfinder geochemistry of them is quite unique. You can distinguish them from that. So they like a porphyry system. They leave a big halo around themselves, so you can pick up the halo. And that's sort of what we did earlier in the year with Fleet Space and Dr. Scott Halley. We did some mineral mapping. We got a signature that matched quite closely with Lefroy's Burns copper gold deposit, which is also a sanukitoid. We then did the infield gravity, which helped us map it out, and then we've gone and done more 3D gravity with Fleet Space in the last few weeks, and we're starting to see these things at depth and their size. So that's how Gladiator was born, and Gladiator's becoming sort of two targets now. So if you have any prospect names for a new, deeper, bigger target, Matty, the floor is yours.
Geez, you're keeping me busy in this episode. That's a third.
You could get to name the next Hemi, mate. So great.
Mate, so this sanukitoid, are these just located in this region around Mt Monger, or this is where are these getting identified as?
They're everywhere. If you go onto GSWA, they've actually got a map around WA of all the ones that they've picked out. So there's stuff to the north of Cow. Hemi have sanukitoids in it as well. So they're bringing gold into the system in every location.
Yeah, and is that just what's been determined as one? There's potentially other ones, other notable deposits that are sanukitoids just haven't been defined as well?
So recently the survey's done a bit of work at Daisy Milano. They've sort of reevaluated that as also being one. I think, as more work gets done on them over the next 5 to 10 years, I think we'll see that the story of how gold is formed in the goldfields will probably be more of the sanukitoid model.
Yeah. Oh, mate, talk about exciting stuff for you, Geos. This is like...
this is proper nerd stuff. Yeah.
Oh, mate, good stuff. Right. Duchess of York. So that's, put some results out this week, hence why we're ripping an app now. This was sort of so was this the maiden drilling you did on Duchess of York since you've had the tenement?
Yeah. So we were hoping to get out there a bit earlier, but we couldn't quite secure a rig, so it got pushed back a bit. But we finally got on the ground in May and got 30 holes into it for 2,500 metres. The first lot of results were quite exciting. So particularly like the original sort of cross-sectional interp that we had inherited from Metallium sort of said that the ore body was pinching out with depth, and I guess, as you would know yourself, working on gold deposits, gold sort of does its own thing. So you can pinch out and it can come right back. And that's sort of what we've seen in the deeper drilling, that it's come right back with a big 22-metre intercept. And it gives us a lot of confidence that Duchess of York has a lot more to give at depth.
So that what we're looking at on screen here, mate, was that that far eastern hole, the 22 metres, was that you didn't know if that was going to be extending to the east, but this is confirmed?
Effectively that hole was a bit of a sterilisation hole. Like if we drill it and there's nothing there, we know the constraints of the ore body, and instead of that we've got some big wide intercepts that say it's open down dip, and gives us a lot more confidence that we can grow this into something a lot bigger. And it may look deep on that section, but that's only about 50 metres vertically, so it's still well within the open pit range.
Yeah, and what are these looking at it in this direction? Like, is this it's just a real big flat lying blobs, like tabular blobs?
So it's probably some sort of like hypergenetic. We've got a really good technical senior geologist, Sophia, and she did a lot of detailed logging and field mapping, and you can see the sanukitoid lithologies in the rock type, so they seem to be controlling a bit of the mineralogy. There might be some folding. We'll probably need some diamond drilling to really understand that. But yeah, it's a much flatter, broader geometry than we had previously thought, which I know pretty handy for open pit mining if we ever get to that.
Yeah, and mate, looking at this map, like why didn't Silver Lake have this ground? Like, why this is right next to Randalls?
I think they might have had it at some stage, but you can be pretty kind and forgive them that, if you've got Daisy Milano and you've got to add ounces to your resource, you're probably going to drill them from Daisy Milano. You're not going to go next door and look at a smoky target that you've got to sort of define a lot and put a lot of effort in, and it's pretty high risk when you've got, pretty decent deposits that you already own and you can already drill from depth. There's plenty of ugly ducklings in the goldfields that, have been unloved over the years because every exploration team is stretched thin and you've got to drill your best targets. So if this is your third project, it never gets touched. And on that, Integra did some amazing work in the 90s and early 2000s, and speaking to those geos that are still kicking around that, they believed that there was something bigger available and they never got to follow up on it because they got bought out, and then they all move on to different things, and the project just gets held in perpetuity by different owners packaged up into different pieces, and nobody gets to look at the whole picture. We get to, interrogate all the data, a big continuous package, understand the system, the new sanukitoid model, and we can really target in on things that are good. And then, credit to the MTM guys or the Metallium guys, they did really good work in 2021, 2024, but, gold explorers didn't get much love back then for any reward for effort, and they had to pivot to rare earths and technologies, and that's been amazing for them. But that turned this project back into the unloved asset, and we got to swoop in and hopefully produce something out of it.
That, I suppose, like 5-6 years ago, 22 metres at 1-2 grams mightn't have been as exciting. It sure is now.
Yeah, $3,000 an ounce. Yeah. We're probably going to make money out of it. So
yeah. What's next steps here following up from this? Like, what's a phase 2 look like? Because if that's a 50 metre cross section we're looking at, is pretty viable open pit if you can prove something up.
Yeah, I think that's definitely becoming the goal. So obviously we've still got 80% of the assays to return. Once we get them in, and we interrogate that data against the logging, we can get a bit better of an understanding of the geological controls on the mineralisation and target it a lot better. There's obviously some structural controls as well, so understanding where the mineralisation is going at depth and along strike, and potentially even an offset load, we can target that with further drilling and try and build this out into a maiden resource of something quite open pittable. We obviously need to get some diamond drilling done in there as well, so we've got that booked in for the coming months as well. Give us some more confidence in what's controlling things, where is it going, and is it the potential for something like Daisy Milano, where you get out of this supergene flat surface deposit, and underneath that is something a lot bigger.
Yeah, and short haul to Randalls as well. That because a lot of the stuff they've been mining's bloody ages away from their mill. So this would be one of the closer deposits in history to Randalls.
We're probably closer to Randalls than Daisy is. So.
Oh, quite easily. Yeah, quite easily. That when you're talking about offset loads, I see you've drilled some deeper holes there, not defined as much. Are you hoping that there's some? Are you looking deeper, or are you looking laterally? Following this,
looking deeper primarily, but being on site yesterday with the hydro and understanding that sort of there's water is often structurally controlled, and there's a bit of water on the eastern side, but no water on the western side, and no water on the north, but water on the south. So there's obviously some structural controls going in there, and they've probably caused some offset for the gold mineralisation as well. So if we can understand those, we can see where the mineralisation is moving when we sort of lose it, and then see if we can pick it up elsewhere at the deposit.
Yeah, right. Anything? I'll close out Mt Monger, mate. But are there any other? Is this your sole focus in that area at the moment, or is Gladiator going to be getting a bit more attention?
Yeah, so the air core that's coming up in the next couple of weeks is going to target all of those sanukitoid structures that have the potential to be another Duchess of York. There's one to the south of Gladiator in particular, the one that I'm waiting for you to name.
Yep.
That is quite large. It's a bit deeper. It's probably about 150 metres below the surface, but it's massive. It's probably 10 to 20 times the size of the sanukitoid at Gladiator and the sanukitoid at Duchess of York, and it is probably the one that's controlled a lot of the smoke in the area that Integra mapped in the 90s and 2000s. So we'll use the EIS funding later in the year to put a hole into that and see if there is something big lurking below.
Maybe you could call it, here's one for you, just call it, I don't know, logical buyer, because Regis is the logical buyer and Jim Buyer is the MD. So...
Well, they could just buy us now while we're nice and cheap and save themselves a couple $100 million over the next couple of years.
There you go. I'll work on that. I'll chuck it through Claude, mate. On to Leonora. That, as I said, in and around like the King of the Hills stuff, a lot of big mix of mining, exploration and prospecting licenses. Mate, give us the rundown on, I guess, the pathway to whether you're going to be focused on exploration there, or there's obviously your mining opportunity there, but then the permitting progress to sort of get that dirt out of the ground. Where's all that at?
Yeah, so if you just scroll up on that map, you might see Craig's West, which is their flagship, which is a nice contiguous package. So our tenements now abut Northern Star's Wonder. They've done some great work picking up more and more gold mineralisation across a structure that we believe and interpret runs straight into our deposit and, is part of the mineralisation we see at Craig's Rest and Garden Well. So right now we're doing a geochem survey across that whole package to see where the gold trends, and we've got a drone magnetic survey kicking off there probably tomorrow, so that we can, marry up the geochem data with the drone magnetics and sort of give us extensional targets across Craig's Rest. I was on site there on Tuesday. Got 400 metres of old-timer workings all along strike. That's pretty much everywhere else in the goldfields. If you have that, there's now a big pit swallowing it all up. So we hope to follow suit and get one off the ground sometime next year.
Is it bloody nuggety? Like, just looking at like your resources, 1.1 million tonne at 1.38 grams for a bit less than 50,000 ounces, but you got hits of like 5 metres at 57.9 grams, 2 at 26.6. So is it just in real high grade pockets? I've probably got the grade distribution there.
Yeah, the superficial stuff is, quite, super G enriched and nuggety. As you get down deeper, it gets a bit more consistent. Just pretty typical of the deposits in that area. But yeah, it's one of the few that's remained relatively untouched. Like Infinity had it for a little bit. They did a bit of drilling, getting that initial resource online. But before then, basically prospectors held it for the last 120 years. So and prospectors have pulled a lot of gold from it. So they held it for a reason. So yeah, we can't wait to get in there and upgrade that resource and look to push it into a production in the near future. Yeah.
So in terms of lease statuses for Leonora and Mt Monger, is Mt Monger probably a quicker pathway to rip and dirt out? Are they on mining leases next to Randalls, or they're exploration ones?
Nah, they're all exploration and prospecting leases. So they've still got a little bit to work through. There's also no resources on them, so we've still got a lot of work to do before we can, start progressing into a mine there. But we are getting all the environmental and hydrology studies underway at both sites, so that when the time comes to pull the trigger on mining, we're not going to be held up by anything that we forgot to do 12 months before.
Yeah, okay. So the Craig's Rest resource, that sits on a P at the moment. So you're obviously going through everything to upgrade that to an M in line with the drilling, I assume?
Yeah, that's the process we're going through at the moment. And it's a process and it takes time, but we're fully committed to seeing that through and getting out there to deliver some shareholder value for what is probably our best asset.
Yeah, good location. So balance sheet, mate, we'll talk about what's coming up, but you raised, was it earlier this year, 5 million buckaroos? Where's it all at the moment, I guess, and where's the capital being balanced between all the projects?
Yeah, so we've still got $4 million in the bank. We should have another little R&D check coming in the next few weeks. So the numbers yet to be finalised, but that should be a nice little extra bit of sauce. So Mt Monger is the main focus. Every time we go out there, we get results that sort of demand follow-up work. So the recent drilling is no different. So we'll have air core kicking off in 2 weeks. We've got drone magnetics flying over at the moment. Like I said, we just completed the 3D gravity survey as well. We'll deliver a second phase of RC drilling at Duchess of York and probably at Gladiator and some of the other targets in September, and then diamond drilling probably October, November. Craig's Rest, a geochem survey that's underway, and drone magnetics that's about to be underway, and then get a heritage survey done and get in there and start drilling as well. So lots of news flow to come, and we'll be very busy for the next 12 months.
A lot of stuff to keep geos excited by the sounds.
Yeah. We've got some very excitable geos too. So
yeah, beside the sounds, mate. Corporately, what I'm not sure what you can speak on behalf of, but I assume a big catalyst is getting, maybe a strategic in or something. You got a lot of neighbouring people that might be interested in this dirt for their mills. Is there any disclosed substantials that you've got? Like Simon Lil's obviously the big dog in this one with the chairman, and he's had some great success. Hemi, notably, if you're looking for a sanukitoid. Who else is sort of backing it, mate, at the moment that you can disclose?
Yeah, we've got some, original sophisticated investors that sort of came in when Evergreen Lithium was listed. They've continued to back the company at every raise. On top of that, we've got the CPS Capital led the last raising and have taken a strong position. A mix of institutional and sophisticated investors that sort of back the project. But the board have all dipped into their own pocket and put their money where their mouth is and believe in the project. So that gives us a lot of confidence that when the leaders want to buy in at every opportunity, their track record at De Grey and Auric Mining speaks for itself.
Yeah. I saw Simon purchased on market the other week, didn't he? Is he tell him to line up each week at the moment? Everything's cheap on the market.
Yeah, maybe he knows something we don't. But he puts his money where his mouth is, and he doesn't seem to hold back in what he believes in. So it's good confidence for myself and for the team that he's willing to put his own money on the line and keep this moving on. And I think shareholders should take some confidence in that as well.
Are you still? I assume you're probably looking for a CEO or MD, aren't you? I see you blokes are still running it between yourselves, and Glenn.
Yeah, didn't we offer it to you at one stage?
Yeah, no, I was too lazy. Look at me. Look at what I'm doing now. I'm just next to my bedroom at the moment. Probably, mate, you'd be $4 million market cap if I got my hands on it.
I've taken a bit of the reins with Glenn, and we seem to drive it pretty well. We've hired a really good senior geologist, Sophia Migliori, who we pinched out of Northern Star, and she's very enthusiastic and loves getting on the ground and making things happen. And coupled with some really good, reliable field contractors, we seem to be able to move pretty quickly and adapt as we get new results in. So. We're ticking along.
Well, I was thinking if you don't want the CEO job, you can do a job advertisement right now for the job, unless you want to take it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Right, I know what you're up to. There,
Impartial estimate there, yeah.
Well, mate, best of luck if you're going for it, mate. So, right, so plenty going on by the sounds, and I guess the joys of being in the sort of 10 million market cap. I suppose 4 mil cash is not bad for a 10 mil market cap. So I assure you you'll get a good. You should get a year out of that, Nelly. Not.
We should. Yeah, we'd hopefully use that until we're ready to go into production, and then do a raise around that period, so we can sort of push it out. We can get some cash flow generated, and then we don't have to keep going back to the market and putting our hand out. We're pretty diligent. We keep the purse strings nice and tight, and only spend money where we think we're going to get return on value for. So we'll stretch that out as long as we can, but if we can get a discovery in the meantime, that should help the market cap do what it needs to do.
Oh, and they're getting you cheap, mate. They're not giving you CEO rates yet, so saving money there. I'll get Glenn onto that. Mate, so when will we expect another set of assays out of your Mt Monger operations?
Yeah, probably next week. Next week or the week after, we should have a good batch come through. We should have them all back in the next 4 weeks, so that would be nice and handy. But then, air call will kick off in 2 weeks, so then there'll be more results 4 weeks after that, and obviously the geochem from Craig's Rest. So then there'll be more news flow there, and it should be pretty consistent on the assay returns over the next 6 months with more drilling and more testing.
Beautiful. Lucky you got ChatGPT and Claude to help you with announcements now, mate. You're going to have plenty coming out.
Yeah, definitely use that.
Right, mate. Cheers for that, Timmy. Buddy, good hustle, mate. Best of luck, and hope those blobs keep going east for you at Greater Duchess.
Yeah, that'd be grand.
Good stuff, mate. Righto, mate. Cheers for that comment. Appreciate you coming on LEVRD.
No worries. Cheers, mate. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, mate.